episode of Off the Script, number 161, part number 3, for your Sunday, March 19th, 2017! I got news on the big dog, Roman Reigns. What do we got to say about good old Roman today? He sucks. We already know that. He's got no charisma. We already know that. He's overrated and nobody wants to see him. We already know that. But Roman Reigns, possibly being traded to Smackdown, will the big dog welcome a change of scenery? We're going to talk about this latest rumor that seems to be picking up steam as Roman Reigns' possible trade to SmackDown is looming. Also, big update on the Broken Hardies and their plans for WWE. Brother Nero spills the beans on their Ring of Honor contract. Also, speaking of Ring of Honor, former Ring of Honor World Champion Kyle O'Reilly, latest speculation on if and when he will be heading to the WWE. Also, Seth Rollins close to being cleared from the MCL injury that almost took him out of WrestleMania. Is the match with Triple H on, and what is WWE's stance on Seth Rollins going into Mania? Also, Bully Ray, we all know that he debuted at a Ring of Honor event not too long ago by putting Adam Cole through a table. But Bully Ray almost debuted in the WWE last August. What happened with that? We'll discuss that as well today on Off the Script. Is Rusev being buried? A lot of people are worried about Rusev, but there's a reason why he got squashed by the Big Show at Fastlane. And also, WWE caught lying about WrestleMania attendance records. All this, plus so much more, and no discussion of Paige nudes, right here on Off the Script. You fucking horny, degenerate motherfuckers. Unbelievable.
JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. Big Show and Ryback, Strowman and Roman. Get off my fucking TV and save me the misery. And all you fucking goons, just grab a cold beer. The man of the hour is finally here. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script. JD from New York, 206. It's time for Off the Script.
Well, needless to say, yesterday's video was probably the most viewed Off the Script in a span of 2 hours that I think I've ever done, man. And rightfully so, because it was a hot topic. It was a hot topic. And I already said in the beginning I would not be talking about that topic. And I'm not. Okay? I want to thank everybody for showing love on yesterday's video. There's a lot of people that still are very insensitive to the entire subject. And I can understand why people wouldn't want to cover it, because it just spawns a lot of negativity. But, you know, for the people out there who are in and around the wrestling community, or do podcasts, or do anything wrestling related news-wise on YouTube or any other platforms, I've had people outwardly say, I'm not covering this story because it's morally wrong. Are you fucking joking me? It's morally wrong? So we can't give our opinion on the possibilities up, down, not literally, left, right, about this topic because it's morally wrong? So when Sunny came out with her porno that was fucking nasty, everybody covered that though, right? It wasn't morally wrong. People still covered that because it was news. It was a topical subject. What about when China passed away, right? And people monetized their video with Joni Laura passing away. Is that morally wrong too? Yeah, I wouldn't have monetized the video, but you have all the freedom in the world to talk about it. Your childhood growing up watching the product and what you thought of China and her importance to the business and to the product. There's nothing wrong with this, with those types of topics and discussing them to your audience. Well, because Paige and Xavier Woods and fucking Brad Maddox had a fucking train going on in a hotel room somewhere, it's morally wrong. Like you never seen a fucking naked woman before. Or you never had a girlfriend that sent you sexually explicit photos late at night because she misses you or something like that. It's morally wrong though, right? What they did is what every fucking human being on this planet enjoys. Sex. And if you think sex is a topic that should not be discussed, then listen, man, you're missing out on all the views and all the attention to your channel. You could have really made a good topic and a good discussion about, the entire situation and really lend your opinion to the topic at hand. But people want to stay away from it because it's only going to breed negativity or only going to breed, all this other bullshit that they don't want to their channel. It's morally wrong. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I don't understand some people as they back away. Oh, I'm not going to cover the Paige story because it's morally wrong. It's just sick and nasty and this and that. Fine. Be a pussy. Be a pussy. Well, if it's one thing I hate, it's a pussy here on YouTube. This is why people like me, come on here and explain it like it is. If you don't like it, don't watch. I'm going to cover it if it's on the grand scale in the world of WWE. And to be perfectly honest with you, you could talk about your Roman Reigns and him turning heel and all this other bullshit coming out of WrestleMania, which is of no importance right now. WrestleMania itself is not even an important topic. It's not. If WrestleMania was an important topic, people would be rushing to my channel to hear what I have to say about WrestleMania. They are not. Yesterday, Paige had nudes leaked, and Paige had sexual video leaked of her with two other WWE superstars while she spent her time in NXT. That's what people wanted to hear about. They didn't want to give WrestleMania a thought when everything was happening yesterday with Paige. So of course I was going to cover it. So there you go. I just wanted to make sure you guys understood why I covered it. It's not clickbait. It's not me whoring out for views. It's a topic that everybody, up, down, left, right, big, small, is covering in the community. Ryan Satin covered it. He did a story. I'm sure all the podcasts that I'm going to be listening to this week, they're going to be covering it. Everybody covered it. But there's some out there, it's morally wrong. Okay, then you don't like sex. Guarantee you all those people that said, it's morally wrong. Guarantee you had it on your Twitter wall and you clicked play at least once. It's morally wrong. It's morally wrong. You wouldn't even watched it. You wouldn't even have an interest in it. You would have turned the other cheek when you seen those photos, or you would have blocked the people who sent you the photos, or blocked that type of content, inappropriate content on your channel. But I guarantee you, every fucking one of those people, it's morally wrong, it's inappropriate, I'm not going to cover it. I don't want to meddle in other people's affairs. Who gives a shit? Everybody meddles in our affairs, being that we're on this fucking platform. People are always willing and waiting to cut you down. But guarantee all those people that said it's morally wrong or inappropriate, I'm not going to cover it for, inappropriate reasons. They seen all those video and all those pictures yesterday, and they had no second thought about click and play on that video. Guarantee you. Guarantee it. Anyway, I am JD. This is Off the Script. This is episode 161, part number 3, March 19th, 2017. And if you're wondering why I have Mickey Mouse on my fucking t-shirt, it's because my new package from Pro Wrestling Tees just came in. And this is one of my Orlando shirts, man. I had to represent good old Solomonster, man. So, wearing that on the podcast today. So, shout out to him. But, I don't want to really talk about the whole Paige situation anymore. I want to thank everybody for coming out to the video yesterday. I know it was a hot topic and people wanted my opinion on it. And that's exactly what I did, man. I gave you my thought in real life about what I think about privacy and the reasons why we should not really expose ourselves to that extent on social media. Be careful with what you share with others. Be careful with who you become friends with. You know, our society and our instincts are always to undermine somebody, hurt somebody, cut someone down out of jealousy, out of redemption, out of revenge, for whatever reason. Some people find it a hobby, and they take great pleasure in seeing other people fail. That's what we discussed about yesterday. Of course, it was a sick and sad situation. You know, lives were embarrassed and ruined yesterday. But that doesn't mean we can't talk about our own personal situations and our own personal issues with that type of thing. It makes for a great topic, and we can really reach out to others and inform others of what not to do when it comes to those types of situations. And if you don't want to lend a helping hand and reach out to somebody and really guide them about what not to do when it comes to social media, you know, I think you're doing the wrong thing by not expressing your opinions on that topic. You got to be careful in today's day and age, man. We as humans, you know, I had a few people come to me and say, well, Jay, you can't really classify all human beings, you know, in the same light as that hacker that really invaded Paige's privacy and Xavier Woods and Brad Maddox's privacy. Yes, you can, because the majority of this world is fucked up. You got to really hold your cards close to your chest, like I said yesterday. You just can't befriend anybody. You can't trust anybody. You can't trust anybody with anything. You know, they'll smile at you right in front of your face, and then the next thing you know, they're fucking you in the back. You know, they're stabbing you in the back, fucking you from behind. It's ridiculous. You can't befriend anybody, man. And everybody is always out there to take great pleasure in cutting someone down and seeing people fail. And we as public figures on YouTube, we are exposed to that type of shit. We have to be careful about what we do, what we upload to our phones, what we upload to Twitter and Facebook. People will sit at home and wait for that moment to take something, and they'll sit at their computer fucking hacking the shit out of websites and, you know, trying to steal your information. You know, it's not right. It's not right. Look what happens in the gaming community, man. These fucking nerds that sit home and just, you know, dox somebody with all their information. I can't tell you how many fucking gamers on Twitch go through doxing. They get their social security number, their credit card numbers, their phone number, their address, their parents' address, their parents' phone numbers, their entire fucking identity just invaded. And it's shared all over the internet, all over Twitch. You got to be careful about what you're doing and what operation you are running on the internet, man. You're exposing yourself just by being on here. And some people in the community, they don't even want to fucking face reveal themselves because of their strict, you know, feelings about privacy. You know? So you got to be careful about everything that you're doing, man. Please, just be careful. And that's why I wanted to talk about it yesterday. Not to, you know, poke fun at it or, you know, there's really nothing to talk about. It's a fucked up situation. But you can always lend some advice when a situation like that goes wrong. That's what we're here for. People look up to us. People come here because they always want to know what we're thinking about the subject. And I felt like I would have been doing wrong if I didn't update people on the story and give my opinion on it. I felt like I would have been wrong if, you know, I wouldn't lend a helping hand and teach people what not to do and to be careful. That's why I did it. So for those people that said it was morally wrong, I think you're doing more damage by not covering it and not giving your opinion than fucking, you know, sitting at home and saying, oh, I'm not going to cover it because it's too sexually explicit. Fuck that, man. We live in a world where sex rules. Sex is number one. Sex sells. And that's never going to go away. So that's the reason why I did it, and I hope you guys understand about why we covered the Paige story yesterday. Even though it was not really pertaining to wrestling news, it was still wrestling news. It's a big story, and it has to be discussed. So that's that. But I want to thank everybody for again tuning into Off the Script. We got a lot to go over today, man. Actual wrestling news today. Actual wrestling news. We're going to talk about Roman Reigns. We're going to talk about a lot of different shit, man. Jeff Hardy, really, going in depth about their Ring of Honor deals, what it means for their WWE status, and if they're coming to the WWE. A bunch of stuff today here on Off the Script. I want to really just shout out everybody that's been taking care of the channel, man. You guys are unbelievable. We had another, I believe, 7 or 8 Patreons jump on board this weekend. Thank you guys so much. There's 4 great ways to support the channel, and that is, number 1, you guys can definitely check out the Patreon page. Patreon.com/JD from NY206. If you guys go there, you're going to see the mission statement. Read the mission statement. Find out what I'm doing, why I'm here, why I started the channel, why I started the podcast, what I want to achieve by really getting in and around the wrestling industry. My dreams are slowly coming true, man. I'm a play-by-play commentator for House of Glory, which we have an event coming up very, very soon. We just signed Cody Rhodes to wrestle for us in May. It's going to be a big, big event. We just got Leo Rush again for our April show. We got Joe Gacy, the world champion from CZW. He's going to be wrestling Anthony Gangone, our world champion, at our next show. It's going to be fucking awesome, man. My dreams are coming true, and you guys are really making that a reality, man, with the Patreon page. If you guys want to sign up for the Patreon, all it takes is as little as $1 a month. That's all you could do, man. And you're going to get right now, you're going to get free access, exclusive access to our Discord chat link. It's all of my Patreons in one page, or in one channel, in one group, and we're all discussing wrestling, and we're all respectful of each other, and it's a great family, environment in there, man. We are a family. So if you guys want exclusive rights and access to that, that's what comes with the Patreon. Early access to Off the Script each and every weekend, and that includes other videos as well. If I have time to upload videos and you guys have the opportunity to get it early, I will always upload it early for my Patreons, because you are most important. So if you guys want all those perks, plus the pleasure of supporting my channel and really helping the show out and the channel out, as little as $1 a month. If you can afford more, obviously that is fucking fantastic. Only if you guys can afford more and you're comfortable doing that, please do so. It's patreon.com/JD from NY206. The second way you could do that is Audible. audibletrial.com/offthescript. Audible's giving you guys 30 days to try the service out free, and that includes 1 free audiobook of your choice, man. And no matter what you do with your subscription, if you guys want to cancel before the 30 days is up, you guys get to keep your audiobook for free no matter what. Over 180,000 books to choose from. A lot of those are wrestling related. A lot of you guys are cashing in on the new AJ Lee book, Crazy is My Superpower, coming out April 4th. You guys can sign up and get that new book, which is going to be a very, very hot topic in the wrestling community when it comes out on April 4th. You could use your free book towards that as well. Right now it's a pre-order, and when it's available for download, it'll automatically be downloaded to your device, man. Compatible with iPhone and Android. You guys can take it on the go wherever you are during your work weeks, man. That's audibletrial.com/offthescript. Do it. Great way to support the show. Number 3, Gamefly is giving you guys the same offer, man. If you guys enjoy video games or movies, you guys get 30 days free to try Gamefly.com. Gamefly offer.com/JD from NY. That includes 1 free game or 1 free Blu-ray DVD for 30 days. And what you guys don't understand, man, is that that's a big deal, man. $60 game for free for 30 days. You guys can try it out and beat it within the 30 days. If you always wanted something that you wanted to play, but you don't want to spend the $60 on it, Gamefly's got you covered, man. Use my link. You're gonna get it free for 30 days. Same thing with a movie, man. If you collect DVDs, which a lot of my friends do, or Blu-rays, and you don't want to spend the money on something that you might not like, check it out for free using my link, man. Gameflyoffer.com/JD from NY. Do it today. That's a great way to check out something that you've been meaning to, but really don't have the time, or you don't want to spend the money on it, man. I got you covered. And finally, barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Get your t-shirts today. Today's probably the last day you guys got before the WrestleMania week, man. We're 2 weeks away from WrestleMania. And if you guys really want off-the-script merchandise, if you're going down to Orlando and you're going to be hanging out with me and everybody else in Orlando and want some off-the-script merchandise, if you want to You represent the show while you're down there. Today's literally the last day, man, because it literally takes 2 weeks to print these things and get them shipped out to everybody. So do it today. barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. 9 different designs on my website, and they are great quality, man. Pro Wrestling Tees, we are partnered with Barbershop Window. We are an official partner with them. They are a big sponsor of this podcast, and they ship worldwide, man. They ship right out of Chicago. Everything is just handmade and printed on the garment. It's fucking awesome, and they are great quality, man. $19.99, no matter where you guys are, you're going to get your t-shirts. Again, that's barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. Thank you to everybody that's pledged. Thank you to everybody that's bought a t-shirt. Thank you to everybody that has checked out Audible and Gamefly this weekend, man. You guys fucking rule, okay? Let's get on with the show, man. We got some news here. We're going to start off with this Roman Reigns story. Roman Reigns possibly being traded to Smackdown. Does Roman Reigns welcome a change to the blue brand? Rumors about Roman Reigns going to Smackdown have been all over the internet this week. But now it looks like the very latest WWE news report has confirmed that the big dog, Roman Reigns, is being shipped off to the blue brand. While fans of Monday Night Raw will no doubt be disappointed, will they really? Will they really be disappointed with Roman Reigns leaving their brand? I know if I'm a fan, I'm wishing him fucking farewell. In fact, I'll pack his fucking bags. I'll pack that motherfucker's bags and fucking send them off. I'll hop in the fucking car. I'll even give him a lift to the fucking airport, bro. Goodbye, Mr. Roman Reigns. Some fans will be disappointed, but if you're over the age of 12 and are not female, you know, listen, you'll get over it, okay? So fans will be disappointed that they will no longer be getting an eyeful of the hottest wrestler in modern history. It's a better career move for Reigns in the long run. What's more is that it looks like Reigns has come to terms with that move and in fact is welcoming it, at least in the latest reports that are to be believed. According to Cage Side Seats and their latest round of WWE news and rumors, the WWE will be opening up the draft for the first time in a few years. With that draft comes the move of Roman Reigns from the red brand to the blue brand. There's a twofold reason for that. But the main reason, according to the outlet, is because they're trying to replace the face of the company. John Cena is off trying to make a Hollywood career. You know, God bless him. And Roman Reigns is, according to Vince McMahon, the best that they've got right now. But there's another motivation behind giving Roman Reigns a new home at SmackDown Live. According to the latest WWE news from other outlets, including Sportskeeda, which I don't necessarily like. I think they're full of shit. He's trying for a run for the World Heavyweight Championship belt, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. As much as fans would love to say that the Universal Championship is on the same level as the WWE Championship, it is not so. The WWE Championship is clearly, by default, the more important championship. Okay, it carries much more prestige, partly because it's been around longer, and it doesn't look like a fucking fruit roll-up. So there you go. And frankly, Reigns went as far as to say he was going, or he went as far as to say, as he was going in Raw, how many times can he go up against Kevin Owens? And, you know, I believe they all feel the same way. How many times can he legit go up against Kevin Owens? SmackDown Live has a shortage of top babyfaces, so having Reigns go to the blue brand may help their cause. However, fans don't look to stop booing the big dog anytime soon. To be fair to the WWE, AJ Styles, who serves as SmackDown Live's top heel, consistently gets cheered as a babyface and hasn't stopped them from using the Phenomenal One as a top heel. But if the trade for Reigns does happen, it will do so at the expense of a potential match that was scheduled for WrestleMania 34. Yes, there are rumors circulating, which we discussed on part 1 of Off the Script this weekend, that Roman Reigns' rumored opponent for WrestleMania 34 would be Brock Lesnar, and that would be for the Universal Championship. Now, if he moves to SmackDown, that probably will not happen, being that Lesnar is a Raw superstar. According to some WWE news reported from Forbes.com, Roman Reigns was to battle Brock Lesnar in this year's biggest night for wrestling, WrestleMania 34. But this won't happen if he gets traded to SmackDown Live. And they quote, Some may feel this is another desperate attempt for the WWE to make Reigns the next John Cena. As if that hasn't happened already. Look around. More times than not, Cena is off doing other gigs while Reigns is everywhere. The idea, of course, is that Reigns would end Lesnar's streak in New Orleans in the same way that Lesnar ended The Undertaker in the same city in the same way. Reigns going to Smackdown. We discussed this a little bit on yesterday's part 2 of Off the Script, and we discussed this on the OTS Extra that I posted exclusively on YouTube.com. If you guys missed that, link will be in the annotation if you guys want to go check that. Reigns to SmackDown would happen if AJ does indeed move over to Raw, because they need to fill that void. According to WWE, they think AJ going to Raw and then Reigns going over to SmackDown is enough to even out the playing field. I don't think so. I think AJ is worth more than Roman Reigns, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, on top of that, with AJ going to Raw, Vince McMahon and Triple H are having this internal tug of war, this internal, discussion about Shinsuke Nakamura going to Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. Vince wants him on Raw because he thinks Raw is the elite show. It's the number one show. And someone like that they got big plans for, he thinks they should be platformed on Monday Night Raw. Where Triple H thinks, listen, you already taken AJ from me, and this Roman Reigns thing is nothing but a rumor. It's been, very, very, Vince has been very adamant about wanting AJ on Monday Night Raw because he loves what AJ is doing. And he's been a big fan of AJ ever since he's got to the company because he sees how great and talented he is. Anybody could see that. But if AJ is going to Monday Night Raw and we exclude this Reigns discussion, that leaves nobody on SmackDown. If Reigns is not getting traded, there's no reason for Nakamura to go to Raw. He's got to go to SmackDown. But if Styles goes to Raw and Roman comes over to SmackDown, I wouldn't mind if Nakamura went over to Monday Night Raw. But in return, we get more than Reigns. We get Zane, we get The Revival coming up from NXT, and we get Ty Dillinger. Because you need to bolster SmackDown's roster. It's looking, even after all these months they've been putting on great shows, they still look a little weak compared to Monday Night Raw. If Raw's going to get Styles, Raw's going to get Nakamura. I mean, look at the top of their fucking card. They got Styles, Nakamura, Rollins, Owens, Jericho, Strowman, Balor. I mean, that's a fucking indie Mark's wet dream right there. You got to put Nakamura on SmackDown if Reigns is staying on Raw. If AJ is moving to Raw, Nakamura has to come over to SmackDown. If Styles is going to Raw and Reigns comes to SmackDown, I would be okay with Nakamura going to Raw. But you gotta really, bolster SmackDown through other means as well. And that means The Revival, Ty Dillinger, bring over Sami Zayn from Raw. I don't see Sami Zayn getting any time with those types of guys over on Monday Night Raw. You got to move him. If there's anybody that needs a change of scenery, forget Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn is your man. But the only thing I do not like, and I'm sure you guys can agree with me, Raw can't even book themselves out of a fucking paper bag. I don't trust them at all with a Balor, a Nakamura, or a Styles. I just do not. I think Nakamura will lose his luster and lose his appeal on Monday Night Raw. I don't trust Vince McMahon. I don't trust Kevin Dunn. I don't trust anybody over there to handle Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke Nakamura has been molded into the superstar that he is with WWE because of the guidance that is Triple H and his camp, William Regal, and everybody else affiliated with NXT. I think Nakamura would be much better on SmackDown because Triple H oversees that brand. Triple H is a little bit more in control on SmackDown. Vince McMahon always has the final say, but Triple H is in control of SmackDown more than he has control over anything on Monday Night Raw. I don't trust Raw with Nakamura. And you got to book him to his strengths. He cannot be on every show. He can't be on multiple times a week. Nakamura is a 2 out of the 4 weeks type of guy. Meaning if there's 4 weeks in a month, Nakamura should be on 2 weeks, every other week. That's it. He doesn't need to be on Raw. He will lose his luster. I don't know if the Raw crowds or the Raw audience are going to really take to Nakamura. I don't trust Vince McMahon booking Nakamura. Vince McMahon is senile, out of touch, doesn't know what he wants, changes his plans and his ideas on the minute, on the fly. You don't know what's going on with Vince McMahon. One day he could book him perfectly, the next minute the guy could be buried. So if Reigns is going to SmackDown and Styles is going to Raw, I would not mind if Nakamura went over to Raw if we get Zane and the Revival to SmackDown and then Ty Dillinger. That's my proposition there. Ty Dillinger could be a perfect proponent for the mid-card. The Revival can feud with American Alpha. They can feud with, another babyface team on SmackDown if they want. The Hype Bros, you got Rhino and Slater. They got a great tag team division if you include the Revival. That's a long-standing feud between American Alpha and the Revival that could carry us for several months. Ty Dillinger's a big proponent in the mid-card. Him and The Miz for the IC title. I could see him and Ziggler. I could see him with anybody, really. And with Roman over there, I guess, I would have to see how SmackDown books him. I'd have to see what Triple H does with Roman. Would he present Roman in a different light? Would Road Dogg and Ryan Ward present Roman Reigns in a different light than what we are used to seeing on Monday Night Raw? I don't know. It's an interesting thing to think about, but I'm not really all that excited about Roman Reigns coming over to SmackDown, to be perfectly honest with you. That's the only way I'd be okay with it. If you not only include Roman, but you got to give us several more pieces, because that's how much AJ Styles is worth. He's been carrying this brand, and he's gonna do the same thing with Monday Night Raw, man. You don't know what you're missing when AJ is not on Raw. AJ is fucking great. They don't call him phenomenal for fucking, for no reason. Guy's awesome. And I'm going to miss him, but listen, you got to even out the brands. You can't make one brand stronger than the other. You got to do what is right for both brands. So that is the rumor going around right now. What do you guys think? Roman Reigns to SmackDown, would you be okay with it? Would you be okay with Nakamura going to Raw? And if not, how would you even out the brands to where they are equal to one another? Tell me in the comments below and sound off, man. It's your outlet down there. Big update on the Hardys and their WWE plans. Jeff Hardy spills the beans on their Ring of Honor contract. Still anybody's guess as to whether the Broken Hardys will return to the WWE. I haven't heard anything outside of Rebby Hardy's just entertaining fucking tweets. I read yesterday that now TNA is suing Rebby Hardy for Matt's theme music that she composed. You believe that? Now they're even going after the theme music. Don't worry, WWE will have Matt Hardy with a new theme that is probably a fucking 1,000 times better than what we got. Even though I love that piano theme that she wrote for Matt. It's fucking beautiful. I love it. But I think WWE and the theme music is not really of the utmost importance. I think WWE can get that squared away pretty easily. It's still anybody's guess as to whether the Broken Hardys will return to the WWE years after the original heyday of the Hardys in the WWE. But with the speculation right now about the length of their current deal with Ring of Honor, Jeff Hardy clarified things in a recent interview, confirming that their Ring of Honor contract is indeed a short-term deal. In an interview with S.E. Scoops, former Impact Wrestling mainstay Jeff Hardy sat down to promote the upcoming movie The Favorite, where he stars as a retired MMA fighter turned into a promoter. But his interview was also notable for his comments on how he and older brother Matt currently stand in Ring of Honor, and the latest on their ongoing battle with Impact Wrestling and Anthem Sports regarding their broken gimmick outside of the promotion. When asked about the length of their contract with Ring of Honor, Jeff Hardy was clear when he told S.E. Scoops that the deals won't have them wrestling for the company for long. And I quote, this is what Jeff Hardy said. "It's a short-term deal, and it's cool because we can still work the indies like we've been doing. We've really had a good time on the independent circuit. We sell a lot of merchandise and take a lot of pictures with fans. It's great to be our own boss and being able to do that with Ring of Honor and be on TV as well." End quote. While it's not sure whether the Broken Hardys will be in WWE, it would appear that there may be one big catch if they sign with the company. According to Pro Wrestling Sheet and Ryan Satin, there's currently a dispute regarding who has the right to use the massively popular Broken gimmicks. As both Matt and Jeff created their current gimmicks and the characters within their so-called Broken universe, they believe they have the right to use the gimmicks wherever they may work. But Impact Wrestling claims in the contrary, asserting that they own the gimmicks because Matt and Jeff created them while they were in TNA competing as the Broken characters. Additionally, Cage Side Seats wrote last week that Matt Hardy's wife, Rebby, went on an extended Twitter rant complaining about how Impact had supposedly tried to sue the Broken Hardys for using their familiar gimmicks in Ring of Honor. Jeff Hardy shared some information to SE Scoops about the current situation with his and Matt's Broken Universe and how Impact refuses to let them use their gimmicks elsewhere. This is what Jeff Hardy had to say about this to SE Scoops. And I quote, "It started when I broke my leg in April of 2015. The positive outcome of my accident is that Broken Matt Hardy was born. Brother Nero was born as well. The stuff we did at our home, Final Deletion, was the highest rated show all year for Impact Wrestling, and it was just four guys and a couple of sound people. We did it all on our own, and we totally developed the characters all on our own. For them to hold this against us like this is very sad and very heartbreaking." End quote. Due to the ongoing dispute with Impact Wrestling, it's not sure if the Broken Hardys could rejoin WWE as Broken Matt and Brother Nero. According to sites like Give Me Sport, this would theoretically be possible provided WWE pays Impact a percentage of royalties in exchange for allowing Matt and Jeff to play their roles that got them over big in 2016. WWE ain't paying a dime. Impact is totally in the wrong here. Okay? Impact is just being spiteful because they don't want Matt and Jeff to go to the WWE and be a fucking 1,000 times more successful than they were in TNA with this gimmick. It's all jealousy. Instead of moving forward and giving us a fresh start in TNA, TNA just replaced all the old faces with new faces, or some of the old faces with some old faces, and they are still operating under the same fucking attitude and direction. They want to stick it to WWE. They think they're bigger than they really are, and they're not. They're doing this out of spite because they don't want Matt and Jeff to go to WWE using the gimmicks that got them over big in their company. They don't own anything. They don't own a goddamn fucking thing. Obviously, they had help in certain areas of the gimmick, but they own everything. They came up with everything, and there's no reason to believe that TNA came up with anything regarding Matt and Jeff. They can't even create good television. You're going to tell me they created all this for their company? And they gifted Matt and Jeff these gimmicks from their own brain? No, of course not. They had nobody over there to write compelling television, period. There's no reason to believe TNA in any of these arguments. It's all out of spite. Since WWE might not be willing to play ball with Impact in that regard, there's a good chance that Matt and Jeff, should they return to the company, may come back using their old gimmicks. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If they are coming back as their old gimmicks, as, Matt version 2.0 and fucking the Enigma Jeff Hardy, I have no interest in seeing that. I don't. Because that is old WWE. This is new WWE. This character might not be everybody's cup of coffee, but I mean, it's the closest thing to being, a wrestling gimmick that we've seen in years. And he lives the gimmick every fucking day. In every interview he does, in every tweet, he's always in character. You're never going to get a fucking real answer out of him because he's always going to fucking do his gimmick. And he's always going to portray that to anybody. Even in public, when I seen him and I took a picture of him and got a video of him deleting me, he never broke character. In 3 hours of fucking fan after fan after fan, he never broke character. Even when he had to fucking step away, which I believe he had to use the bathroom, he was in fucking character. Never did he stray from that. And that's why people respect it and enjoy it, because he's always living the gimmick. It's a testament to how important it is to him. If he's going to come back as regular Matt, I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. It's not what we want. If they are bringing them in to do the old Matt and Jeff shtick, the regular Hardy Boys, I don't want it. I'd rather them stay in Ring of Honor. But if they are coming to the WWE, they need to be broken. No question. Should they return to the company using their old gimmicks, with Matt dropping his put-on British-sounding accent and distinctive use of words, primary word being delete, and Jeff, full name Jeffrey Nero Hardy, I mean, how could TNA really claim that, Jeff, Brother Nero? How can they claim copyright over Jeff's name? That's his fucking birth name. Nero is his middle name. I mean, get the fuck out of here with this shit. Not using his middle name, obviously, will not be what Jeff Hardy is going to be doing. Despite these potential pitfalls, Jeff told SE Scoops that he's optimistic that the fans will one day get to see the Broken Hardys in WWE, introducing their Broken Universe to the company that they debuted over 2 decades ago. I would love to introduce the Broken Universe to WWE eventually. I think it would be huge, says Jeff Hardy. We got 2 weeks. It's going to be the Broken Hardys and the Bucks of Youth, which is now a ladder match for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships. I think that's going to be their swan song, and they'll be in WWE. They will be broken. They will be on either Raw or SmackDown, and it's going to be fucking awesome. I think it's going to be awesome, and Impact, there's nothing that they could do about it. They're merely doing this out of spite, and they're alienating fans, they're alienating fucking cable providers, they're alienating fucking people in the industry, and they're alienating their own roster. They're pissing a lot of people off. Back the fuck away. Worry about putting on good television. I heard they had a nice rating spike with whatever the fuck is going on with TNA right now. You know, this past Thursday show had a nice rating spike, but I don't know what the reason for that was. Whatever the case may be, worry about your own product and going forward. Jeff and Matt, you clearly put them in the rearview mirror. You put them behind you. Let them go on and live their careers and live their lives and let them do what they want. There's no reason for you to stick it to two people that were so important to you in 2016, that put your company back on the map, that had anybody talking about TNA. That's how you respect people? And we've said this countless times. It might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it is a renaissance for Matt. It brought Matt back into the limelight. It brought Jeff back into the limelight. They seem to be enjoying and loving everything that they've done in the indies, with the fans, with the gimmick. Let them live the rest of their careers. Who the fuck are you to say you can't use it? All out of spite. Stop being babies. Worry about your fucking shitty Impact show at Universal Studios that, you know, houses 200 fucking people, that you give tickets away. Worry about your fucking show. Worry about your fucking shitty announcer feud with Josh Matthews and Jeremy Borash, and let these guys go on and live their fucking lives, man. Enough of this shit. Can't wait to see them in the WWE. Latest speculation on Kyle O'Reilly. I don't know much about Kyle O'Reilly, but I've been hearing his name a lot. Is he headed to the WWE? As WrestleMania approaches, there have been many discussions as to which free agents will be landing in the WWE. As reported by Wrestling Inc., Kyle O'Reilly stated during an interview with Rolling Stone that his status with the Ring of Honor is unconfirmed and he does not know what the future holds. Regarding a move to WWE or, more importantly, NXT, he admitted that reaching WWE, particularly WrestleMania, is a goal that every person in this business, wants to, strive for. He said that is a goal that every person who decides to endeavor in the world of professional wrestling, that is always going to be a goal set by everybody. O'Reilly revealed to Rolling Stone why the separation between him and Ring of Honor occurred, and I quote, "It kind of just worked out that way. I'm sure if Ring of Honor would have come to me sooner with a contract that made sense, then maybe I would have stuck around. But we just really couldn't come to an agreement on terms, so I just felt like this is how it's going to go, and then maybe I'll just take a little bit of time away from Ring of Honor," end quote. In a recent update, Dave Meltzer of F4W Online said the following regarding O'Reilly's status. "When someone disappears at that level, that usually means WWE bound at some point. As of right now, O'Reilly is keeping busy with independent shows after winning the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship by defeating Adam Cole at Final Battle and losing it against Cole just a month later at Wrestle Kingdom 11. O'Reilly has recently been absent from Ring of Honor TV. Shortly after Wrestle Kingdom, he competed at an event for Elite Canada Championship Wrestling, and the match can be viewed on YouTube. Along with his short title reign being an indication that he is NXT bound, a recent interview with Paste, I don't know what that outlet is, but I guess it's a newsletter or a news site, website, added to the speculation that he is headed that way, as he teased that no matter where I end up with whatever company, I just hope for a successful and healthy 2017. O'Reilly had more to say in Rolling Stone regarding his next move. "I am a company guy. I'm happy to do whatever the promoter asks me to do. That's just the nature of the business. That said, I'm hoping I can just continue to try and create pro wrestling like how I enjoyed pro wrestling, and that's the most believable combat exhibition that I can possibly create. I've always just wanted to create art, so I'm doing my best just to keep that going." Hopefully, O'Reilly can continue his momentum like he had in Ring of Honor and find success in NXT. One thing is for certain, though, if he does appear in NXT, wrestling fans are in store for some excellent matches, as names such as Nakamura, Roderick Strong, and Ty Dillinger would create instant classics with the former Ring of Honor World Champion. At this point, it is not a matter of if, but when Kyle O'Reilly will show up in NXT. Turning down a Ring of Honor contract was one of the biggest reasons why his title was given away just after a month winning it at Final Battle. During interviews, O'Reilly maintained his firmness on missing his tag team partner Bobby Fish, even in the midst of experiencing singles success. Fish, for now, looks to be staying put in Ring of Honor. Recently, Fish feuded with former Ring of Honor champion Adam Cole for the World Championship, but was unsuccessful. He also captured the Ring of Honor World Television Championship before losing it to Will Ospreay. Fish hopes to win either the Ring of Honor TV title once again or the Ring of Honor World title for the first time in 2017. O'Reilly in NXT creates the opportunity for fans to witness some great matches and spectacular takeover events in the future. While it is not official, it is more than likely that he will be at Full Sail sooner rather than later. So I'm looking forward to it. The more NXT gets, the better for NXT, man. And I stated that NXT is going to look vastly different after WrestleMania. Adam Cole's coming in. I firmly believe that. I think Kyle O'Reilly is going to be there. Nakamura is going to be moving up. Bobby Roode's going to be there. You got Cassius Ohno is going to be there. You know, the Revival might be gone. We got Heavy Machinery coming in as a tag team. It's going to look vastly different, man. It really is. And with this women's tournament as well that I mentioned, for several weeks, WWE's got this women's tournament that they're putting together just like the Cruiserweight Classic. This women's tournament's going to be on the network. It's going to be exclusive to the network. They're going to scour the globe for the most talented females in this business, and they're going to put them all under one roof, battle it out to see who is the best. And by that tournament, they're going to fill the gaps that are needed in the women's division for NXT, SmackDown, Raw. It's going to be a big year for NXT, man. You just got to be patient. They're like a minor league baseball team, man, or a major league baseball team, you know? When a major league baseball team loses their star guys to free agency, or someone goes somewhere for a heftier, bigger contract, you got to replenish, man, and that's what NXT is doing. They got to replenish. Their big-time hitters were moved because they deserve to be moved to a bigger platform. Balor, Joe, Nakamura is going to be moving, you know? And they had a lot of empty gaps. This year, I think, is the year that NXT fills a lot of those gaps, and it's going to be a very exciting year for Triple H and everybody involved in NXT, and that's going to start with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. So I can't wait to see it. I'm very excited about NXT. Seth Rollins, close to being cleared from his MCL injury. What is going on with the match that he is supposed to have with Triple H? Seth Rollins returned to WWE this past week to save General Manager Mick Foley from Triple H. He would drop his crutch and dash in for an attack on the game, but would eventually find himself beaten down to end Monday Night Raw. The major issue for Rollins stems from a legitimate MCL injury he sustained in an altercation with Samoa Joe weeks ago. At Joe, it was because of Joe that, Joe took him down as he put him in the coquina clutch. Rollins' right knee bent the wrong way, and thus his MCL tear ended up happening. It was not, one of those things that was purposely done. It was a freak accident. The normal recovery time for this type of MCL issue is around 6 to 8 weeks. The MCL is quite unlike the ACL and even PCL. The healing time is actually pretty light in comparison to the other tears in the knee. The real danger initially for Rollins was that it was unknown if this was all that he hurt. The right knee is the same one that got messed up in 2015, where he tore just about everything in it, including the MCL. Luckily, it was confirmed the MCL was the only thing that was messed up, but it still made many people wonder if he would be healthy enough for WrestleMania 33. The 8-week mark happens to be the week of WrestleMania, but WWE would never want to put Rollins, in the ring to take bumps or shots if he was not able to take them because of his knee. The match with Triple H may very well have been confirmed during Monday Night Raw, as Rollins getting physical at all means he is clearly healing well enough to do such things. He took a great deal of shots to the leg from Triple H, which means WWE feels he can take them without causing harm to an already bad knee. Now, according to Ryan Satin of Pro Wrestling Sheet, in fact, it seems doctors believe Rollins is almost good to go. So much so, they partially cleared him recently. The clearing happened, but did not include restrictions. Basically, things like what we saw on Monday Night Raw, obviously cleared by the doctors, as they feel Rollins is healthy enough with his knee to do all of those things. Meanwhile, the doctors have not fully cleared him to have full matches yet. Keep in mind, we're technically 5 weeks out from when the initial injury happened. So with this MCL injury needing 6 to 8 weeks, it means that Rollins is actually ahead of schedule, or at least right on time. He was partially cleared and was able to do that much, including taking numerous shots to the bad knee from a crutch from Triple H. While Rollins was still wearing his knee brace on the bad leg, he was seemingly able to move around just fine without having to limp or really need any help to stand. This is quite significant, as it proves that Rollins can walk on his own and move his knee well enough to do what he needs to do inside the ring. If the MCL was still such an issue for Rollins, doctors would never have cleared Seth Rollins to do the things that he did on Raw, as it was practically what he would do in a legit match with Triple H. Most believe with WWE using Seth Rollins a lot the last number of weeks, they are certainly still planning on the match happening. There are still some sources who believe that an altercation with Triple H at WrestleMania won't be a match at all, but rather a brawl of sorts, where no actual match would be made. If that is the case, then it could lead to some very interesting circumstances for Triple H and Seth Rollins. What WWE could do is make it out to be a street fight, which would allow them to include the likes of Samoa Joe and possibly Finn Balor in the match. Everything would be legal, and Rollins could do the same thing where he was wearing the knee brace and pretty much be protected if they wanted to go that route. On top of this, the aspect of the match would be similar to what happened on Raw on Monday, where WWE puts more time in the brawling aspect rather than something inside the ring wrestling-wise. As it stands, WWE has not made a match official between Rollins and Triple H. While it is expected that something will happen between the two, without something official being announced, it can only be assumed at this point. One would conclude that due to WWE Raw GM Mick Foley being in an altercation with both Triple H and Stephanie McMahon on Monday, he would end up making the match official next week as one of his last acts as general manager of the Red Brand, which would ultimately lead to his termination. Now, I mentioned this on OTS Extra, which we discussed, again, Seth Rollins and him not being completely 100%. He is not 100%. He is on time, or at least a little bit ahead of schedule. But what I would do is what this report from Pro Wrestling Sheet is indicating. I would have it be some type of street fight. I would have it be some type of showdown or altercation. I would not have a match. I would give Rollins light work at WrestleMania, not a full-blown match, because of two things. One, I don't think Rollins is going to be comfortable enough to do everything he wants to do in a match with Triple H, just out of fear of injuring himself again. He's going to be a little bit restrained in doing what he normally does because he's always going to be worrying about his knee, okay? Number two, this gives the opportunity of Seth Rollins going after Samoa Joe first and getting that cleared away, and him battling Joe to get to Triple H. And I would not risk Seth Rollins' career for something like this. Rollins is going to be worth more to you this year than what's going on now with Triple H at WrestleMania. You can always hold the match off until SummerSlam. You need a big-time main event for SummerSlam. SummerSlam is built up as the WrestleMania of the summer. So that's another match that you can add to an already stacked SummerSlam card. Rollins versus Triple H. Rollins would have already battled Samoa Joe, which is something that we should see before he gets to Triple H. You can't do it backwards, otherwise it's not going to make any sense. You got a storyline already there that was born out of nothing. You know, Joe attacked him, he injured him, he put him out. Clearly, Rollins is going to want to go after Samoa Joe. Do it for SummerSlam. Rollins would be 100% healthy by then. It would make more sense storyline-wise. You were gifted a storyline with Samoa Joe here that really wasn't in the plans, but now it is in the plans, and it makes more sense for him to go after Joe than Triple H. You don't want to risk this guy's career. Don't risk his career by putting him in a full-blown match with Triple H, which is going to be fucking physical. You don't want to do it. You don't want to risk this guy's career. You don't want to risk another injury happening because you rushed this guy back. Save it for SummerSlam. Do the altercation. If you want to include Balor and Joe, so be it. Make it a tag team match. An impromptu tag team match. Triple H and Samoa Joe versus Rollins and Balor. Even I'm not that big of a fan of that match because Balor was the one who was put out for 7 months by Seth Rollins. Or you could do the storyline where it does have a tag team match take place and Balor turns heel at WrestleMania and he joins Triple H. So Rollins is already on the receiving end of fucking a beatdown from Joe and Triple H. And then Finn Balor fucks him over by turning heel at WrestleMania and joins this new evolution. And Rollins is battling a 3-on-1 situation. This is where my idea would come into play, where Reigns is already on the roster. Rollins is already there. He's coming back from injury. Foley, in his last act as GM, would trade Sami Zayn for Dean Ambrose because of what is going on. He doesn't like what is going on with Triple H and his authority over Monday Night Raw. And being that WrestleMania is a dual-branded pay-per-view, he'll have Sami Zayn in the same building. He'll have Dean Ambrose in the same building. Mick Foley will be there. There's no reason to believe why Mick Foley couldn't sit these two guys down and, concoct a trade. Zayn over to Smackdown, which he is in desperate need of. Ambrose over to Raw. And you would have the Shield back together. Unconfirmed. Nobody will be thinking that, but, he can come out on Monday Night Raw and say, listen, I traded Zayn for Ambrose. Ambrose is now on Monday Night Raw because we need justice to be brought back to Monday Night Raw. And out comes the Shield on Monday Night Raw through the crowd like they always do. And before that, Mick Foley gets fired. And it just leads to a Shield reunion, Foley getting fired, Angle coming in. You got a whole fucking mess. A whole combustible element right there, which I think is the perfect situation for WrestleMania. But I would not have Rollins wrestle at WrestleMania in a full-blown match with Triple H. I think the best way to do it is save it for SummerSlam. That's just me. Let me know what you guys think down below. Bully Ray nearly debuted in the WWE last August. Bubba Ray Dudley pulled off a rare double surprise in the WWE in 2015. First, he was a surprise entrant in the 2015 Rumble in front of a Philadelphia crowd that met him with a memorable reaction. Bubba disappeared again until August of that year when he and Devon reformed the Dudley Boys right after SummerSlam on Monday Night Raw. The pair had a steady run with the WWE until the night after SummerSlam 2016 when they announced their departure from the company. The Dudleys didn't make their names in the WWE, of course. They earned their reputation from years spent with ECW before bringing their act to wrestling's mainstream in 1999. But a 6-year run with the WWE put them in the conversation for one of the greatest tag teams of all time. However, their careers certainly did not end when they departed the WWE for the first time in 2005. The duo signed with TNA after separating from the WWE and performed under a variety of character names. The character that received the most praise in their near 10-year run with TNA was Bully Ray. Widely regarded as a top heel in TNA, from roughly 2012 to 2014, the Bully Ray persona nearly showed up in WWE last summer. Bubba revealed during an interview with Sports Illustrated, and I quote, "We came one day away in August from debuting Bully Ray in WWE. At the last second, the decision was made to not go forward with it. Bully Ray was ready to go, but that's all I can tell you. We were one day away, and they had to pull the plug on it." Big mistake by WWE. They needed more mid-card to top-level tier talent on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. And Bully Ray, especially with the draft, if they had the idea of holding a draft and splitting the rosters, Bully Ray would have been absolutely fucking perfect for SmackDown Live. Absolutely fucking perfect. And this goes to show you how much indecision is in the WWE. I would have never pulled the plug on that character. I would have never pulled the plug. The Dudleys didn't do jack shit. I thought the Dudleys were going to come in with that big return the night after SummerSlam in the Barclays Center. I had high hopes for the Dudleys. I thought they were going to rebuild the tag team division around them. I thought they were going to be tag team champions. I thought they were going to really get on board with the Dudleys versus the Usos. Nothing happened with the Dudleys. They were a jobber team when all was said and done. I would have never brought them back as the Dudley Boys. I would have had Bully Ray come in, and I would have had Devon retire with the WWE and sit in the role that he's sitting in now as a backstage producer. Bully Ray should have most definitely debuted in WWE, but the indecision of WWE pulling the plug on it, one day away from pulling the plug on it, man. Unbelievable, stupid decision by WWE. That act was fucking... I admit, I don't watch TNA, but from what I seen of Bully Ray, that act was fucking great, man. He had the mic work. He was decent in the ring. He slimmed down. He looked great. He was a great heel. He got heat. He would have been so over in WWE, man. So over. That's a big mistake. Big mistake. One of the bigger mistakes that WWE's made in the last couple of years, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, this timeline coincides with the Dudley Boys departing from the WWE, as noted previously. There were rumors at the time that Bubba was going to go out on his own and have a singles run in WWE, and a lot of them centered around the idea of bringing back the Bully Ray character to the company. As he mentioned, however, it was not meant to be. The Dudleys and WWE parted ways on amicable terms, and Devon even returned as a backstage producer, which he is now. Bully Ray and the character was eventually resurrected, but not in the WWE. He showed up in a Ring of Honor show last week, and it was the same show that the Hardys made their Ring of Honor debuts. This past Friday night, Bully Ray teamed with the Briscoes to defeat War Machine and Davey Boy Smith Jr. at the company's 15th anniversary pay-per-view. It's since been revealed that Bubba Ray, Bully Ray, has signed a 6-month contract with Ring of Honor, but another top company did at least make a second pitch to retain his services. However, that company was not WWE, but instead Impact Wrestling. Ray explained his decision to ultimately turn away TNA. And I quote, "At the last minute, TNA came in hard and heavy and made me a significant offer. But the way I look at it is this. If I can't go back someplace and top what I did before, then it's kind of pointless. I'm not blowing smoke up my own ass here. Bully Ray was a top heel in TNA. I generated ratings. Me and Jeff Hardy drew TNA's biggest house show of all time at Lockdown. And I had my run with Hulk and Sting. If you take a look at the landscape of TNA and their locker room, I don't have anybody to top what I did before." End quote. Bully Ray never had the opportunity to lead a faction in the WWE the way he did with Aces and Eights in TNA. That was when Bully Ray was at the top, and it doesn't appear he has any intentions of bringing the stable to Ring of Honor, despite rumblings that the Bullet Club needs a group to represent competition. Bully Ray has different plans instead, and I quote, I'm hoping to do for Ring of Honor what Terry Funk in 1995 did for ECW. By no means am I saying I am as great as Terry Funk, but Funk helped ECW take that next step. Hopefully Bully Ray can do the same for Ring of Honor. Good on Bubba. Good on Bully Ray. I love and admire his work ethic. I love the fact that he always wants to get better and is looking to recreate himself, man. It's very difficult to find that characteristic in somebody. And I love that comparison. What Terry Funk did in 1995 for ECW, you know, he's not saying that he's Terry Funk, but he wants to take Ring of Honor and get more eyes on Ring of Honor like Terry Funk did for ECW, man. That's commendable. That's commendable. And you got to agree what he did in TNA was not going to be topped, man. What is he going to be doing in TNA or Impact Wrestling if he went back there now? Feud with who? Who has he got to feud with? EC3, Bobby Lashley. You're talking about Jeff and Matt Hardy. You're talking about, you know, Hulk Hogan and Sting and the whole Aces and Eights deal. What do you got going on there now? You know, money only goes so far. You know, money is very important, but, you know, in this industry, if you are looking to add to your resume and even make your character better in other platforms, the money is going to come regardless. You know, and he's opening himself up to a whole new slew of rabid fans. I'd much rather perform in front of Ring of Honor's fans than fucking TNA's fans. I feel like TNA's dead. You know? You're going to find very few fans, very few markets like Ring of Honor that are going to really welcome Bubba Ray in like they did. Of course, especially being in the Manhattan Center, he probably got the fucking old school vibe of ECW back in the day, man. Good for him. He's doing what he loves, and he's recreating himself. Good on him, man. I'd love to see it in WWE. I still hope when his run in Ring of Honor is up that they really give him a second look. If Devon's there, he's not wrestling anymore. I called his last match with House of Glory. I called Devon's last wrestling match with House of Glory. Devon's not wrestling anymore. There's no reason why WWE should not look at this guy when his Ring of Honor contract is up at the end of the summer. There's no reason for it. He would be a perfect fit in WWE, and I hope that they realize that at the end of this year. What is going on with Rusev, man? Is Rusev being buried? Real reason why Rusev got squashed at Fastlane. Many have wondered, if the former two-time United States champion Rusev is getting buried in WWE storylines. After all, he was surprisingly booked on the Fastlane pay-per-view earlier this month, only to lose in a squash match against The Big Show. New reports suggest that this is not the case at all for the former two-time U.S. champion, who may unfortunately now need shoulder surgery and end up missing WrestleMania. When a wrestler gets buried, this refers to the act of a wrestler racking up a series of losses, being made to look weak in storylines and angles, or being put in several irrelevant storylines. And when it comes to Rusev's supposed burial, many fans believe it came when his real life Lana, then his girlfriend, told TMZ in September of 2015 that she and Rusev had quietly gotten engaged the month prior. This forced WWE to quickly end the storyline where a real-life couple were at odds with each other. Rusev was with Summer Rae, Dolph Ziggler was with Rusev. This whole feud was absolutely garbage. According to Wrestling Inc., Vince McMahon was not happy that the news of the engagement had leaked out, and save for a brief second run with the United States Championship, Rusev has mostly been pretty much delegated to the mid-card role. Others have pointed out that at the start of Rusev getting buried in WWE, that came earlier and may have even happened at WrestleMania 31 in 2015 when he defended his U.S. Championship against John Cena. Prior to the match, Rusev was being built up as an up-and-coming anti-American villain and had easily won feuds against the like of Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, and as What Culture noted, at that time, he hadn't been pinned or submitted in any of his main roster matches over the past year or so, but it all ended when Rusev lost his U.S. Championship to John Cena at WrestleMania 31, then lost 3 further rematches. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. That was no good. That was no good. 3 rematches he lost. I don't think Rusev should have even lost, period. Honestly. But that's what WWE does. They always feed them to the top guy. If it's not Cena, it's Reigns. If it's not Reigns, it's Cena. Something you're going to have to live with. But now we got to deal with that aspect about Roman Reigns. Every one of your top guys, every one of my top favorites is going to be fed eventually to Roman Reigns to get him over. WWE was still in their John Cena moment. And John Cena is the patriotic All-American. So it made sense for WWE, in their eyes, to book WrestleMania 31 with John Cena beating the anti-American. I didn't like it at all. I thought it was a mistake, but this is WWE we were talking about. Nearly everything that they do does not make sense. This sparked a long period of irrelevancy and failed storylines for Rusev, who's only recently started to recover some of that lost heat. What Culture actually wrote in an article from last year, Rusev will likely go on and have a long, successful WWE career, but losing to Cena set his development back several years. Due to his quick and unceremonious big loss to The Big Show, in a match at Fastlane that added on the day of the pay-per-view itself, fans have speculated that it may be another case of Rusev being buried by WWE Creative and kept in the company's doghouse. A report from PW Mania, in fact, suggested that he may have gotten backstage heat for cutting his hair for a new shorter haircut. But a new report from WrestlingNews.co suggests that a quick loss came on account of Rusev needing shoulder surgery and having to be written off television quickly. The report cited comments from Big Show made at a recent autograph signing, where the veteran grappler told the fan that Rusev is due for an operation on his shoulder. According to the same outlet, the publication was able to pretty much report the story after asking around, and it does appear to be a legitimate injury that will require Rusev to take some time off. As such, Rusev is no longer listed for WWE's upcoming house shows this weekend and was taken off Saturday's house show match that would have had him and Jinder Mahal facing Enzo and Big Cass. WrestlingNews.co also believes that the injury may force Rusev to be out of commission for WrestleMania 33. Although that clears things up with regards to what has been going on with Rusev and this entire debacle at Fastlane that we've seen, it can still be argued that Rusev's push on Monday Night Raw is still a far cry from what it was in 2014 up until his loss to John Cena at Mania 31. One's mileage may vary when asked if Rusev is being buried by WWE Creative or not, but at 31 years old, he remains in the ideal prime of his career, one that hopefully won't be marred by further injuries or backstage controversies. Rusev is very entertaining. I really grew to like Rusev after really not, warming up to him all that quickly. I don't like what they did with him, with the whole John Cena situation. I don't like that they put him in the League of Nations. I don't like that they put him in a feud with Roman Reigns, and they fed him to Roman Reigns. All of that adds up, man. All of that adds up. You went from losing, look at Rusev's timeline. He went from being the anti-American villain, undefeated, being, on his way to becoming one of the biggest heels in the company, with the United States Championship, an outsider holding the United States Championship. That alone, that concept alone is fucking money. He lost to John Cena. He never recovered from that because he had lost 3 straight matches to Cena. Then he got put in a fucking feud with Dolph Ziggler, where fish and dogs, chihuahuas, were involved in the fucking feud. Lana didn't appear to be herself because she got placed with Dolph Ziggler. Summer Rae was out of her element with Ruru. And then after that got squashed because of their engagement, he got placed in the League of Nations. He got fed with 3 other guys to Roman Reigns to get him over. He never recovered from that. And after that, they slowly started to build him back up as a dominant monster. They gave him the United States Championship, and they fed him to Roman Reigns again. Not only did they feed him to Roman Reigns while part of a fucking shit stable with Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio and Wade Barrett. These guys aren't even in the fucking company anymore, besides Sheamus. Not only did they feed all of them to Roman Reigns to help him get over, they fed him individually, again as the United States Champion, to Roman Reigns. And has never recovered. Now he's with Jinder Mahal. So Rusev has not had a good WWE run for the first 3 years he's been on the main roster, man. Not good at all. For those that say, oh, he's got TV time, of course he's doing well. Fuck that. Do you want to be on TV with your wife in a fucking shit feud that's going nowhere with Dolph Ziggler, and the only way you could get out of it is by getting engaged and having that news leaked? Do you want to be buried to Roman Reigns and aid in this guy's development? No. You're being fucking destroyed. Your character and your whole embodiment of what you are is being fucking buried on television. Nobody wants that for themselves. This injury might be the best thing to happen to Rusev. Have him come back, have him stay off TV for a little bit, have him come back and try and rebuild this guy again. In a day and age where, you need new stars, I don't understand why they're not doing what needs to be done with Rusev. The guy's entertaining, the guy's decent in the ring, the guy got decent mic skills, he's funny as hell. Utilize this guy, man. They had something great with him when he was undefeated before he fought John Cena. How they quickly fucked that up. WWE, again, just doesn't do the right thing. Rusev is clearly one of those things. And finally, guys, we got WWE caught lying about WrestleMania attendance records. So, I don't know why I'm reporting this. You guys should know the deal about WWE embellishing on attendance records. Vince McMahon even came out and said that it's all part of the entertainment. And the reason why I think that they do it is because they clearly want to make themselves look good to not only the building that is housing their event, right? They want to look good to advertisers. They want to look good to people watching the product from the outside looking in. Oh, look how many people WWE fit into one building. They fit into the Cowboy Stadium, the Alamo, whatever the fucking stadium's called, But this is why they do it. It's all part of the entertainment aspect. WWE has a long history of inflating attendance records in order to get media attention because they want to have the record. The biggest lie for WWE came in 1987 when WWE claimed that 93,179 people attended WrestleMania 3, breaking an all-time indoor record. Last year, WWE did it again when they claimed 101,763 people attended WrestleMania 32, breaking their own WrestleMania attendance record. However, Fightful.com learned from the Arlington Police Department that only 80,709 fans walked through the turnstiles at WrestleMania 32. Of course, after the WWE claimed that over 100,000 people attended WrestleMania last year, even Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson came out in the middle of the event and announced that same exact record of 101,763. However, that means that over 20,000 people were at the event, never walked through the turnstile because Vince McMahon stated that the attendance record included an event staff and people who worked in the building. I doubt there were 20,000 people who were employed by this stadium were there. I doubt it. So I think Vince McMahon's full of shit. Because WWE is a publicly traded company. They can't just throw numbers out like they did at WrestleMania 3. They have to remain transparent due to laws concerning publicly traded companies. According to Vince McMahon, the 101,763 person WrestleMania attendance record also included those who didn't have tickets, such as event staff working the event. However, that means, like I said, 20,000 people, never even walked through the fucking gate. Dave Meltzer even stated that they were actually closer to 97,769 people at WrestleMania 32, though that still includes 17,000 people who didn't enter the turnstile. While there is no way to prove it one way or another, that means that there were a member or was a member of the event staff for every 5 ticketed individuals, which seems very high. So, WWE is going to do whatever they can to make themselves look good. Why this is even news, I don't understand why I even reported this. But I want to show you guys how WWE can get desperate. I don't understand why you gotta lie. It's okay if you don't fill 100,000 people in Cowboy Stadium. It's okay. Fitting 80,000 is still amazing in itself. WrestleMania 32 did $18 million just at the fucking gate. So that is an all-time record for their company. There's nothing to be ashamed about. For them to embellish, it makes them look pathetic. Tell the truth. Don't lie about your attendance records. Because one way or another, it's going to come back to fucking rear the truth. It's going to always reveal, itself to what it really is. So I don't understand that. Vince McMahon says it's all about the entertainment. Keep up on the entertainment aspect. Because anything that you say from here on out, people really aren't going to believe anything that comes out of your mouth. But that is off the script, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed part 3 of this episode. And if you did, hit that thumbs up, man. Audible, Patreon, Gamefly, and Barbershop Window. Everything you guys need is linked down below in the description. Make sure you guys get your tickets to Internet Darlings, live in Orlando with What Culture, Brian Zane, GrimsToyShow, Matthew from Botchamania, Joe Cronin Show, and JD. Going to be on a WrestleMania panel talking WrestleMania. If you guys are going to be at WrestleCon, me and Joe will be doing Off the Script live at WrestleCon at 11 a.m., and that's going to be fucking awesome. Make sure you guys, get ready for WrestleMania, man. 2 weeks away. We're going to have a fucking blast. And if I can have a fan meet up somewhere, I will let you guys know eventually, hopefully soon. But thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up. And I'll see you all for Monday's Raw. As always, right here back on the channel. I'll talk to you later.